Hello creatives, welcome to Artist Star. My name is Beth and I am at the gallery today for the Zodiac series. This reading is for Aquarius, whose correlating major arcana card is the Star. This is the artist card here to represent you as the open vessel, ready to receive whatever source can pull from the well of infinite creativity. So Aquarius, this is a new spread, another one of mine. I call it Pulling the Thread. So we're going to start with the Soul's Journey deck here and ask the question of what part of me is most ready to tap for creative energy. Then with the archetype cards, we're going to ask what angle needs to be explored more deeply. That is an angle that is revealed by the first row. And then last row, the third, we ask what personality trait is supporting this energy. And with that, we're going to use the spirit messages. Then we're going to follow up with the cards of truth and the Lenormand cards for more clarity. And then last but not least, we will ask what else Source would like to share with us. And we're going to go with the power animals and the starseed cards. So with this spread, I like to turn over all three cards at once. And we're going to ask that question, what part of me is most ready to tap for creative energy? Let's see where your energy, creative energy, lies at this moment, Aquarius. Let's find out. Ooh, in trust. I accept that my inner voice will always guide me correctly. Great card for you. We've got the Six of Spades, healthiest card in the deck. And then we've got the Clever Fox. Little misunderstandings about the Fox card. It could be someone trying to deceive you, but it can also just be being incredibly cunning and smart and just really being able to maneuver in and out of situations with style and grace. So foxes are not all bad. They are incredibly intelligent animals that have learned to survive and thrive in a human environment. So yeah, and the Six of Spades here is a great card to get. This says that you are literally at the top of your game mentally and physically. So wherever you are finding yourself at this moment, you could not be more ready for this challenge of pulling the thread and finding out where your untapped energy, where you could tap it, lies. So that has something to do with trust. Trust is well, and as it says, I accept that my inner voice will always guide me correctly. So that's trusting in the universe, being able to deliver the message that you need to hear and you being open to hearing it. I mean, basically that is it. Just trusting that you know the difference between your intuition talking and your ego trying to persuade you of something different, right? So, I mean, it comes with practice, of course, but it's also discernment, right? So you got to be able to know if a person or a situation is trustworthy. And that's where this fox comes in, because are you paying full attention to something that may be running circles around you, or something that's being a little deceptive or a little hard to put the finger on because it's clever and cunning and elusive and hard to snag? That's the fox. That's that fox energy. So maybe just out of practice. I mean, with the Six of Spades here, it's hard to say that you are not, capable of doing this. Totally, obviously, are capable. This is the Lover's card in its relation to the tarot, and the Lovers is obviously just that. Two different ways of thinking about something, being open to diplomatic point of views, and being able to maneuver those with grace and cunning. Okay, so interesting. Basically, tapping back into that intuition of listening to the universe and knowing, having that gut feeling of what is true and what is not. So Aquarius, that is kind of a second nature for you to do that. So that would be awesome if you are at the top of your game with doing that. So lovely place to start. Begin with listening, right? Listening to your inner voice. So it's asking with this card to exercise that muscle, that it's time once again to delve a little deeper, a little longer, and listen a little more carefully as to what's coming through for you. So let's move on to the second row here with the archetype cards and ask what angle of this needs to be explored more deeply. So we've got the Hermit card, Ten of Spades in reverse, and the Lady card in reverse. Well, that means it's going to be a bit of a struggle getting the message across. So I am going to do my best, and hopefully she is also here to just double down on the idea that it's time once again to pay more attention, to be a little more open, listening a little more in depth, not taking that voice for granted, and being able to hear it as in its clarity once again. Maybe there's some foggy thinking or some misinterpretation, or you're stressed for time. Maybe there's anxiety in your life at the moment, and you haven't even thought about maybe taking a moment for yourself to just ground and allow that message to go forth from you, that you are ready and willing, and to have that be returned with some synchronicity or something saying that you are on the right path. So the Ten of Spades in reverse is not an easy card. This card is literally walking through hell with a smile. I mean, it means that you're handling things that you haven't let them get to you just yet, but you've got an incredible burden to bear at this moment. A lot of work, a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety, a lot on your shoulders, and probably feeling quite in the thick of it, which again, it's a very complicated time to stop and smell the roses and open that door to the divine. So much easier to do when things are going great, right? All right, so let's look at the Hermit card and see what this has to say. Seek solitude to focus intently on inner life. Serves personal creativity. That's exactly what these cards are asking you to do. Shadow attribute, withdraw from society out of fear or negative judgments of others, refusing to help those in need. So it doesn't really feel like that. This feels more about you and how you are probably just really busy, overwhelmed perhaps in this time that, of course, it's just the opposite. I love the twisted bits when it comes to the universe asking from you exactly what is the most difficult to give at the moment. That really feels like that's what this is. It's the time to meditate, the time to focus intently, to go within, have a moment of solitude, to just connect with your groundedness. Maybe if you can find the time just to clear the chakras and at least get grounded in the aspects of you. You're there, you're handling it beautifully. It's just Source suggesting that there is a message for you that needs to come through, and that there's a certain need to trust that if you can find that moment, it will definitely come through for you, and that it's having a little bit of a hard time right now doing that because obviously you're having a little bit of a hard time settling and taking that moment. Whether you've just forgotten that that should be a part of your daily routine, or you just don't have a second to give yourself, right? It's, yeah. Either or, the message is still the same. Try to find that moment, make room for it, and you will not regret it. Let's move on to the third row and ask what personality trait is supporting this energy with the spirit messages. Be proud. Very nice. Oh, you got the 10 of Hearts upright and the Mountain card, which basically says that there are obstacles to maneuver around, through, over, however you can get there from here. It looks like very nice possibilities of being able to do that. This is the popularity card. It is also relates to the Wheel of Fortune, which is awesome. And I forgot to mention that the 10s are ecliptic cards. So those are your life path. This is a pretty big something for you and your journey. This is a really on the like a giant step forward for you emotionally and physically and mentally. All of that noble building of character is right here for you. It is you understanding that bigger piece that's coming to you, that Source is reminding you of, that they are right there for you. All you got to do is meditate or just take a moment and breathe, right? A cup of tea, anything, just a deep breath and settling and recognizing that it is right there and that easy for you. You're so perfectly situated for this right now. All right, so be proud. It's time to celebrate all that you've achieved, all that you are, and all that you will become. Every once in a while, it's important to stop and acknowledge what you've achieved and to be proud. So nice, right? Again, the message of taking a moment and just acknowledging that you are at the top of your reception right here, right now. Wow. So yeah, the popularity card, this is really lovely. This is you doing the work, getting the reward. That is the tens. It is, this card is the, as I said, popularity card. So this is getting that respect, that fulfillment, that happiness around whatever it is that you are doing. It actually melts down all resistance. So it's receiving greater rewards for your efforts. Can't mention that enough. Whatever you put in, you will see in return. And of course, it's always about the opportunity to connect with the divine on a more loving and caring and empathetic way. It is a just, oh my gosh. Oh, and it also has all of the skills and talents of the rest of the pip cards. So Ace through 9, you have all of those skills, all of those talents, all of that emotional stability that all of those represent in the cards, in the suits. So you couldn't have a better card here for this. And it being the Wheel of Fortune energy is also super rich because it is a spin of the wheel. It's that life path. It is taking the spin and understanding that it is now time to step off and into another leg of the journey. Just really beautiful energy here for you, Aquarius. You as the visionary and also a fixed sign, you can really get in that stubborn groove of not swaying or compromising your vision, which can be a great thing, but it can also hinder in that if you're resistant to getting feedback from other sources, including Source, right? So Source here is, well, here to remind you that if there's anything that you're going to let in, anything, it's Source that you are needed to listen to at this time. So find that moment to just connect, check in, and keep doing that, because look for those synchronicities and understand that when you find them, you are on the right path, your path. Very nice. Might be a little bumpy getting there. Might be a little bit of a challenge. Tens rise to the challenge. They do the work. They jump in and get it done. They don't mind the work at all. And I suspect that you don't mind it either. It's a very grounded, stable reading that you have here. Every opportunity and tool at your access. You can just go for it. The Six of Spades is this mentally and physically feel good time. This is you being able to get it. It is healthy. You're connecting and able to connect with yourself and with everything in your environment as well. Very nice. So yeah, trusting in that divine connection is really the key to your message here today. So let's take a look at what else Source would like to share. Wisdom. See your adversaries as opportunities to expand your spiritual light. Very nice message. And the Wolf. Integrity, faithfulness, and loyalty. So we're going to read a little bit about the Wolf and see what else we can learn. Wolves are social animals who live together in a group called a pack. They are nocturnal and rely on their keen eyesight to aid them in maneuvering through unfamiliar territory at night. Wolves maintain strong bonds within their pack. They play together, teach their young, and care for their elderly. They also depend on one another for safety and survival. It's not uncommon for a wolf to sacrifice her own life for the sake of the pack. When you receive this card, you may be feeling weary over a matter at hand, especially if you are unable to foresee what the outcome will be. Remain faithful and keep moving forward, even if it feels as though you are stumbling in darkness. Don't fret, there is light ahead. Allow your spirit of wolf to guide and protect you through this unfamiliar terrain. She is a most loyal ally and will remain by your side until things become clear. Such a perfect message for you. Oh my goodness. Looking out for everyone. The pack is the bigger picture. You're so able to do this. And again, just that message of taking that moment to ground and focus on that connection with Source that you have. And just begin again. And that is where you are going to find your creative energy in that trusting, that newfound connection. Really beautiful. Well, Aquarius, thank you. And thanks for listening. And as always, happy creating.